Adventure starts with the right gear, and it all starts at shackshop.us. From stylish women's swimsuits and premium camping tents to paddleboards, underwater drones, and dependable dinghies, we have everything you need for your next outdoor adventure. Whether you're exploring the water or relaxing on shore, gear up with quality products at unbeatable prices. Visit shackshop.us today and make every adventure.
For centuries, historians debated what really happened inside one of Europe's most powerful ruling families. Rumors of betrayal, political conspiracy, and murder survived through generations, becoming one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Now, thanks to breakthroughs in ancient DNA analysis, researchers believe they have finally uncovered the truth. The case centers on Francesco I de Medici, Grand Duke of Tuscany, and his wife, Bianca Cappello, whose sudden deaths in October 1587 have fascinated historians for more than 400 years. At the time, many believed the powerful couple had been murdered. The leading suspect was Francesco's ambitious brother, Cardinal Ferdinando de Medici, who inherited the Grand Duchy shortly after their deaths. The timing appeared suspicious. Francesco and Bianca became violently ill while staying at a country villa. Both died within days of each other. Whispers quickly spread across Renaissance Italy that poison had been used to eliminate the ruling couple. For centuries, the poisoning theory became accepted by many historians. But modern science has now told a very different story. Researchers from Yale University and the University of Pisa analyzed ancient DNA recovered from Francesco's skeletal remains, using techniques that simply didn't exist even a decade ago. Their findings were published in the scientific journal iScience. Instead of discovering evidence supporting poisoning, scientists detected DNA belonging to two different species of Plasmodium parasites, the microorganisms responsible for malaria. This discovery strongly suggests that Francesco died from an aggressive malaria infection rather than being assassinated. Historical records actually support the DNA findings. Documents from the time describe Francesco suffering from high fever, severe chills, vomiting, extreme weakness, and rapid deterioration. These symptoms closely match severe malaria. Researchers believe mosquitoes carrying the deadly parasite infected Francesco while he spent time in marshy areas surrounding Tuscany, where malaria was widespread during the Renaissance. Even more intriguing is the fact that Bianca Cappello developed nearly identical symptoms and died just one day after her husband. Although Bianca's remains were unavailable for testing, historians now believe she likely contracted the same disease. The discovery dramatically weakens one of history's longest-running murder accusations against Cardinal Ferdinando. For hundreds of years, he had been portrayed as the ambitious brother willing to murder for power. Now the evidence suggests nature, not poison, may have been responsible. This case also demonstrates how rapidly ancient DNA science is transforming archaeology and history. Scientists can now recover microscopic fragments of DNA from centuries-old bones and identify ancient diseases, family relationships, migration patterns, diets, and causes of death. Only a few decades ago, such discoveries would have seemed impossible. Today, they are rewriting history. The Medici family itself remains one of history's most influential dynasties. Originally bankers in Florence, they accumulated enormous wealth before becoming political rulers. Their influence stretched across Europe and included 4 popes, 2 queens of France, artists, scientists, architects, and scholars. The family financed many of the greatest minds of the Renaissance, including Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Galileo Galilei, and Botticelli. Without Medici patronage, the Renaissance might have looked very different. Because of their immense power, political intrigue surrounded nearly every member of the family. Assassinations, betrayals, secret alliances, and succession disputes were common throughout Renaissance Italy, making accusations of murder seem entirely believable. That is one reason the poisoning theory endured for over 4 centuries. Yet science demands evidence rather than speculation. The researchers extracted ancient genetic material from Francesco's remains, using contamination-controlled laboratory methods specifically designed for archaeological samples. They identified DNA from Plasmodium falciparum and Plasmodium malaria, 2 parasites known to cause severe malaria infections. These findings provide the strongest biological evidence, yet explaining the Grand Duke's sudden death. While some historians still argue poisoning cannot be ruled out completely, most agree the DNA evidence has fundamentally changed the debate. Instead of asking who murdered Francesco, historians are now asking how malaria shaped European history. Had Francesco survived, Tuscany's political future, and perhaps parts of European history, might have unfolded very differently. The case highlights a growing field known as ancient pathogen genomics, where scientists study DNA from long-dead microbes preserved inside ancient human remains. These techniques have already identified historical outbreaks of plague, tuberculosis, hepatitis, and other diseases. As technology continues improving, researchers expect many more famous historical mysteries to be revisited. Questions surrounding the deaths of kings, queens, military leaders, and famous explorers may eventually receive scientific answers. In many cases, centuries of speculation could be replaced by hard biological evidence. The Medici investigation is a remarkable example of how archaeology, genetics, medicine, and history now work together. What once relied solely on ancient manuscripts and political rumors can now be tested inside modern laboratories. DNA has become a time machine. Every tiny fragment preserved inside ancient bones contains clues about lives lived hundreds or even thousands of years ago. The investigation into Francesco de Medici reminds us that history is never truly finished. New discoveries continue changing what we believe about the past. Sometimes the greatest detective isn't a historian, it's science. As ancient DNA technology advances, historians expect dozens of other famous mysteries may eventually be solved, revealing that many legendary conspiracies were actually the result of disease, environment, or natural causes. Whether future discoveries confirm or overturn long-held historical beliefs, one thing is certain: the past still has many secrets waiting to be uncovered.